Weight loss plans, we've all got them. There's so many out there, but what really works? Our next insider sat down with host Cynthia Demas to go over what's fact and what's fiction.
Let's go over a few weight management food myths. The first one, juicing is healthy, yes or no?
So we have to say this is a myth.
Oh, it's such a great craze and a fad. Now, why is this a myth? You think, hey, I'm gonna smush up my vegetables, I'm gonna smush up a bunch of stuff, and I'm gonna drink it. Why isn't it healthy?
So that's exactly, the dietitian is here promoting eating fruits and vegetables, right? So what happens is how that information is then twisted and turned into, let me juice my vegetables and just consume them that way. So it's not that juicing vegetables is necessarily unhealthy, but you're not experiencing all the benefits from eating your vegetables as when you're juicing. But when we say the word juicing, most commonly there's a lot of fruit juicing going on, not just the veggie juicing. So it makes most juices a high calorie drink, which we need to be sparing the liquid calories, especially when trying to lose weight.
What about if you just vegetable juice?
If you just vegetable juice, I wonder where else you're going to be getting your fiber. So it's not harmful to just juice your vegetables. I think it can add up and be maybe a little expensive, because I would still expect you to be eating your vegetables in order to feel that feeling of fullness that we want with the meals.
So what's a better way to get our fruit and vegetables?
Just eat half that plate veggies. We just talked about half the plate non-starchy vegetables, your lettuce, your kale. Instead of juicing it up, add it either before your meal or even add it into your meals. So it bulks it up. It provides a larger visual meal, and it can help you feel fuller, which is one thing we want when we're trying to lose weight.
Okay, so let's check out another myth or fact. Which one is it? Grain products like bread, pasta, and rice are fattening, so they should be avoided when trying to lose weight. Fact or fiction?
So this is not a fact, so it's fiction. Grains themselves are not fattening.
Okay.
We have to let that sink in a little, right? So grains, there are a healthier form of grains, and that's your whole grains. And if it's not whole grain, we have refined grains. But all grains, regardless of whole or grain, are not necessarily fattening. What is fattening is when it's the overconsumption of your grains. So that any grain in excess, as well as any nutrient in excess, whether it's fat, protein, or grains and carbs, will be stored in your body as fat.
But how come if you just cut carbs out of your diet, you lose weight?
Because you're cutting a major food group. So it is difficult to stay within recommended portion sizes of your grains, whether it's whole grain or refined grain. It is difficult for us to stay within our portion sizes because there's so many grains that we like and that are out there. So when you cut them, you're making a choice of, you're not learning how to have the right amount, you're just choosing to cut them all of a sudden. So you're cutting a very large source of calories and energy in your body. So you'll see that short-term weight loss, but we know in the long term, which can be past those several weeks or maybe a couple months that you try to cut grains, in the long term, the weight will end up coming back.
That's the bummer. It always does. Carbohydrates can be found naturally in foods like whole grains and fruit, including starchy vegetables, milk, and yogurt. So what starchy vegetables do you recommend?
Right, so when it comes to choosing the right carbohydrates, these are the ones we want to keep in your diet, whether you are trying to lose weight or maintain that weight loss or just trying to be healthy. So we start off with our whole grains, which contribute a good amount of fiber. So we talked about your veggies having fiber, but your whole grains have even more fiber and really contribute to a lot of benefits of it. Fruits in their whole form are a good source of carbohydrate, but you do need to watch the amount that you have, one serving once to twice a day for your whole fruits. And even items like milk and yogurt have small amounts of natural carbohydrates, which are nothing to be concerned about.
So when it comes to yogurt, let's talk about that. What's the best kind? I see there's 0%, there's 2%, there's 5%, there's like 10%. What are we looking for in yogurt?
Yogurt's a tricky item that's out there, and I'd start off with going for a Greek yogurt instead of regular yogurt, because Greek yogurt has usually double the amount of protein per serving, so that also helps you stay fuller longer. With yogurts, also going for an unsweetened or low amount of added sugar without sweetener. So that's a handful to remember there, because a lot of yogurts can be artificially sweetened, but also can have a lot of added sugar. So we want to keep all sugars low. buying plain Greek yogurt would be the way to go. And then, like you mentioned, there could be no non-fat or low-fat yogurt. What they're doing is they're cutting the saturated fat, which is the not healthy fat. So you do want to cut that fat down, but you still need fat as part of a healthy diet, but you need the right type of fat. So if you're going for the non-fat plain Greek yogurt, I'd say add some healthy fats from like any type of nut, like almonds or peanuts, or like peanut butter. You can stir it into your yogurt, or even adding chia seeds. Seeds are also a good source of fat, which is the healthy fat.
And honey?
Honey you can drizzle in to the plain yogurt. I like using the word drizzle. So you control the amount of sugar that goes in.
And they really have been doing this in Greece for a really long time with the really good yogurt and the honey. So it finally made its way over here, and obviously it's a craze. When it comes to milk, does it matter whether you're drinking almond milk or skim milk?
So it's up to your preference of you choosing regular milk from a cow or what we call milk alternative, which can be almond milk, for example. At the end of the day, as a dietitian, my concern is that you're having a source of calcium in your diet, and that it's a healthy form of calcium. So if it's cow's milk, choosing low fat or non-fat, because then you're sparing the saturated fat, which is the cholesterol promoting type of fat in the diet. So either that milk or a milk alternative, or you can have a combination in your refrigerator. It's really up to your preference and what you prefer. But if you go for an almond milk or milk alternative, 2 recommendations is, and the first one being making sure that it's unsweetened. And the second one is making sure that it is fortified in calcium and hopefully vitamin D, because the companies are not required necessarily to fortify their milk alternative, such as almond milk, with calcium and vitamin D.
Okay, let's take a look at some carbohydrates we should eat less of. Dun, dun, dun. Desserts, of course.
So this shouldn't be a list that's surprising to most of us. We know the carbs that are refined, and from the white grains to desserts and snack bars, because I say the snack and snack bars because most of them contain a lot of added sugar, and then obviously sugary beverages. So it's not just the soda, it's a lot of beverages out there that have sugar in them, whether it's from a natural source like fruit, or it could be sweetened with a syrup or brown sugar. Whatever the sweetener is, at the end of the day, drinking calories and having too much refined carbohydrates and too much added sugars is not just bad for our weight, but also for our overall health. So, recognizing that it is difficult to completely eliminate, I like to encourage cutting back, and taking one step at a time. So if it's with the sugary beverages, that's usually a good place to start, and then working on the desserts. And being maybe a little picky with your desserts. I think sometimes we're too picky with our veggies and not picky with our desserts. But being picky, so you really enjoy the moments that you do have your desserts, and hopefully decrease portions and frequency.
And remember, if you have a question, please reach out. We love hearing from our viewers. You can send us an email by visiting our website, allhealthtv.com, or give us a call, 855-796-4475.